We've got one more important topic around forms for now, which are validations. So the term validations generally refers to adding constraints or validating user input or data. For example, requiring that some fields can't be empty, or that a password has to be between, 7 and 12 or 20 characters, or whatever it is. There are these different constraints, and they can get more complex, like your password must have a special character and a number and a lowercase letter and an uppercase letter and no spaces, and there are these different things that we can validate. Now, we're not going to go into all of that right now. I'm going to show you the built-in browser validations that we can add into our forms and our inputs, but the smoother experience is things like this here on Stripe, where as I'm typing, and it just tells me immediately before I did anything, it's not a valid email, or as I type my password, I get this nice sort of security bar gauge, and I get this text down here telling me what's wrong, or what it needs to do, and it's showing and hiding, and it turns green. That is all done with JavaScript. So this is all in the browser or client-side validation, just like what I'm going to show you, but this is in addition to what I'm going to show you, and we'll learn how to do this sort of thing later on. This is definitely a nice experience. But what I will say is there's something else called server-side validation, which is when I actually submit this data. Right now it won't even let me submit, but if I did submit it, there could also be validations on the server, on, in this case, Stripe server, to make sure that my data meets their expectations. It's possible that somebody could get past this. There might be a bug, their email. It would be hard here, but somebody could directly send data to Stripe server, and it might not conform to this pattern. This is purely through the browser, making sure that the data you enter into these fields matches some pattern, but somebody could go around it. Somebody could send their own request or, use a terminal or something to send data to Stripe, and they likely also have validations on the server side. So those are two different terms, and in the past, server-side validation was pretty common. In the earlier days of, it's still around, where you would type something, fill everything out, then you hit submit, the page refreshes, and then it tells you if there's any problems, because it's hitting a server first and then coming back and telling you here are the issues. Anyway, we're going to focus on the basics of the built-in validations, and the first thing we need to know is a particular attribute called required. So I can require any of the inputs so far that we've learned just by adding that attribute, required. So I'm going to add in a new, how about an H2 here, validations demo. We'll add in a form. This will go to / dummy, and inside of that, let's add in a couple of inputs. The first one, type equals text. We'll give it a name of, should we just do first name? Let's do first, like that. We'll give it a label. Enter first name. 4 will be first, so ID needs to be first. Okay, there's a lot of attributes there just to get set up. But now I should have this enter first name, and then I need a way, let's add a button to submit the form. Right now, I can leave that blank. So as you can see, first is set to nothing. It's totally blank. If I want to require a value here, I can add on this required attribute, and now I can't submit. The browser is telling me, please fill this out first, and then I can submit. So this is coming from Chrome. You might see a different looking error message here, depending on the browser you're in. And this may not be fully implemented, by the way, across every browser. These days it's pretty standard and common, but it's not a guarantee. So we also have validations for the min and maximum length of text. So I could do this for a password, for example, or I could do this, how about a username? So let's do a label for username. We'll put a paragraph around it, and then in here, an input, it will be text, and ID will be username, name is username, okay, and then we can give it a min length. How about your username has to be between 5 and a max length of 20 characters, okay? So now if I have a 1 character or 3 character username, it's going to yell at me that this is required. Now it tells me, please lengthen this to 5 characters or more. You currently have 3. So I'll lengthen it too much, and you'll see it actually doesn't let me type anymore. I've hit the maximum length, and there we go. So I also should add required, right? I did not require that input at the bottom, so you can leave it blank, which maybe there's a situation where something should be optional, but in this case, I'll also make it required. So it has to be there, and it has to be between 5 and 20 characters. So min length, max length, there's also min and max, which are for numeric values. So this could be used for things like in a date, a month, a week, a time, or in a range or number input. As we've already seen, min and max play an important role there. If I go to one of these inputs like this number input all the way up here, we did from 1 to 1000. But if I were to enter in something like -1, which is not valid, it still lets me type it. But when I submit, it will yell at me, value must be greater than or equal to 1. So if I use the arrows, it won't let me go down there. But if I type something in, it lets me do it, but it won't let me submit. So those validations are still there as well. So that's required, min length, max length, min and max, which are for the range inputs and for number inputs, as well as these others that we're not going to worry about for now. But we also have some inputs that actually have a default validation built in. They are matching a pattern. So pattern is actually an attribute we can add to elements, and we can define something called a regular expression. We're not going to go into it now. All you need to know is that regular expressions are incredibly useful. We'll touch on them later on, but they are quite dense and crazy to try and understand. I think I have one on my clipboard here. Yes, this is a regular expression here. It's a pattern that is being defined. I think this one is, let's see, one or more lowercase letters, uppercase letters. It's got to be at least 8 for the password, special characters. Basically, it's saying there's got to be a number, uppercase letter, lowercase letter, and a couple of other things, and there's got to be at least 8 of them. So it's complicated to explain. It takes a lot of time, and we don't need to care about it right now. What we can do is set our own regular expression using this pattern attribute. We're not going to do that, but you can. Another thing that we can do, though, is use some of the existing elements that have pattern matching already built in. For example, if we have an input, so I'll just do a paragraph here, input where type is set to email. If I refresh, I'm going to have to fill these guys out so it doesn't yell at me. If I submit right now, I didn't require it. So let's make that required. Try again. Enter something in here. Okay, submit. It will tell me, please fill this out. So I'll enter something in, and it's not a valid email, and it tells me, please include an @ in the email address. So it's just matching a pattern. It's not checking to see if this is a real email. It's really just seeing if there's an @ sign and then something afterwards. If I leave that off, it asks me to, please enter a part following the @ sign. It's incomplete. But once again, this still could be a completely fake email, and it doesn't matter. It's just the pattern. But it's still better than nothing. And the other type, the other option I'll show you for now is a URL input. So type equals URL. I'm going to comment this one out just to make this easier. And if I type something like that, just the letter D, it's going to tell me, please enter a URL. And you can control, I believe you can control how this URL is validating what the pattern is. We're not going to go into it, but I just want to show you that it exists. It looks like it's looking for this pattern. So some URL scheme like HTTP or HTTPS : something else. So let's verify. If I just do D, it doesn't like that. If I do HTTP : DDDD, that's fine. But if I leave off some of that, it gets mad at me and it wants a valid URL. Again, not checking to see if it's a real URL, but just the pattern. So we also have an input type of telephone, TEL. I think there's a couple others, but we're not going to worry about them for now. I just wanted to show a few, give you sort of an overview of built-in validations for HTML forms. I will wrap up by just cleaning this up a little bit, adding labels when appropriate, adding comments, so you don't have to look at this mess. And that about wraps it up for validations for now.